Ryan Poles finally gets an offensive lineman as he signs Lucas Patrick from the Green Bay Packers to a 2-year deal worth $8 million. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears offseason update video. If you guys want more of these, definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll be making videos reacting to every single free agent signing the Bears make. And I really like this, guys. Okay, the Chicago Bears poaching again from the Green Bay Packers. Get a guy that can play both guard and center, and a guy that Aaron Rodgers really loved to have there in Green Bay. I'm going to read you guys a quote from Aaron Rodgers when he was talking about Lucas Patrick, and he said that a lot of value when he can plug in a guy at 3 positions. He's a tough, physical, smart player who can be an elite center. I really feel like that. Love the kid. And his other teammates there and other, coaches, they also had good things to say about him as well, which, by the way, credit to Max Markham for finding these quotes. But Matt LaFleur said Lucas Patrick is a guy that you can always count on. Kenny Clark said you take a play off against him, he's going to dump you. So it's clear he was well liked in Green Bay, and obviously he worked with our now offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, there in Green Bay as well, which is why I think we actually made this move, guys. Okay, he already knows Luke Getsy's system because the system is going to be kind of similar to what the Green Bay Packers run there. Getsy is already familiar with Lucas Patrick, so he already has experience, coaching him as well. So I think this is a perfect match for the Chicago Bears. We needed a guy that could play in the interior of our offensive line since James Daniels actually went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He got a decent-sized contract there. Congrats to him. But Poles had to sign more guys to play either center or guard, and I think this guy probably is going to be a starter for us somewhere. I can't say where yet. I don't know if he's going to be a center for us or a guard. He could play either, right? Because we have a need at guard. We also have a need at center, with Sam Mustipher being the only center on the roster right now. He wasn't very good the last couple of years, but I really like the flexibility that this move gives us, right? Because it's a pretty cheap contract, only $4 million per year, so it doesn't prevent you from going after another center or another guard. Maybe try to get a guy like JC Tretter on the open market, try to pay him whatever he wants. But if that fails, like, we already have Lucas Patrick now, to potentially start. If you want to get a guy like Tyler Linderbaum in the draft, if he miraculously falls to you at pick number 39, you can get him and start him and have Lucas Patrick as a backup. So the fact that he can play both center and guard is huge, guys. A lot of teams covet the positional versatility, and we got a pretty decent one at a very reasonable price, okay? And that's why you wait in free agency. That's why you don't spend a lot of money on day one like the Jacksonville Jaguars are, because you end up paying a premium for players that aren't worth that money. But Ryan Poles, by sitting back and allowing the market to pretty much come to him, he got a pretty decent offensive lineman at a very reasonable price. I'll tell you guys about his years in Green Bay. So he was signed as an undrafted free agent back in 2017. Now, the Packers have a very good developmental system for offensive linemen. So, learning in the Packers offensive system, he didn't really start many games until 2020, 2021. So if you look at his starts, he only started 2 games in 2017, 4 in 2018, none in 2019, then 15 in 2020, and 13 in 2021. So clearly he was, signed, developed by a lot of great coaches there in Green Bay, and they got some decent level play out of him. Okay, if you look at his stats in 2021, according to PFF, he played 911 total snaps, only allowed 1 sack, 4 quarterback hits, 5 penalties, and a PFF blocking grade, pass blocking grade of 67.3, which is a pretty decent grade, guys. Okay, he's obviously not like a superstar or anything, not an elite offensive lineman, but he's good enough to keep your quarterback upright, right? Like Aaron Rodgers, if he's giving praise to this guy, it must mean something, right? Because Aaron Rodgers doesn't give praise to many people in the NFL, but he seemed to really like this guy, and all the other coaches in Green Bay did as well. So stats wise, he did pretty good. If you look at his measurables, he's 6'3", weighs 313 pounds. So definitely the proper size to play guard or center in the NFL. He's definitely not undersized. Has decent sized arms. If you look at his tape too, I haven't watched too much of it. I'm only seeing the highlights on Twitter, but he can move pretty well, guys. Okay, for a guy that big, he can definitely move, and I've seen him already maul some people on tape. I'm also going to read a quote from him. I don't know when this was from, but he said this, while he was with the Green Bay Packers. He said that I like to play football how I think it's intended to be. It's a violent sport. You got to kind of cut loose and have this mentality of you either have to go through me to get to the ball or I am going to move you. That is exactly the mentality that Ryan Poles wanted on his offensive line. I mean, to a T, it fits perfectly. That's exactly what Ryan Poles said he wants in his offensive lineman, and it looks like he got a guy that believes in that mentality, okay? Playing nasty, playing physical, finishing blocks, mauling people, standing up for your quarterback. These are things that the Green Bay Packers offensive line does, but not things that the Bears offensive line has done for their quarterbacks in the past pretty much decade, right? So I'm so happy we're getting a guy with this mentality. He may not be a superstar, he may not be like an elite player, but he's definitely a good player. And to get him at such a decent price, I think this is a very good signing by the Chicago Bears. Okay, he already knows the system, already knows the coach, and come on, he's a Green Bay Packers offensive lineman. Those guys are usually pretty good. So let me know what you guys think about this signing down below in the comments. Thank God I don't have to see Sam Mustipher start for us next season, most likely. As always, bear down.